When you joining public service, you go with this perception about the service that you're gonna change things in a day. You're going to influence things because some of us, like for me, I was coming from student leadership, and I remember when I was at Makerere University, we always at the point of criticizing those that were in leadership, that were in management, about how we want things to change. But when you get into public service now, reality comes into it comes into check for you to be able to get into this sphere. Now you're there, hands on. Now you're no longer on the other side of complaining. You should do this. Should do this. Now you're on the other side where they are now looking at you to offer a service. Some of the challenges that you're going to find in public service, one is the rigidity of the system. It is not a place where you're going to come with your bright ideas. For you, it may be a priority, but it may not be a priority for the organization. And you're going to, along the way, get frustrated with some of these things. For example, you propose ideas, and these ideas don't come into fruition as you expected. That is the rigidity of the system. It's rigid that does not easily buy into ideas. Not as fast moving, because before I joined the authority, I was working with Safe Border. At Safe Border, we are very, very dynamic. We are flexible, things are moving fast, but now the structure in public service is different. Things are not going to happen, they're not going to move at your pace. Even when you see something that you can change, I have my brother here, I work with him. Sometimes I walk into offices with my ideas. I've been in one of the meetings where I'm sharing my ideas. But, well, you have the idea, but then it's not going to be bought. So the rigidity of the service, it kind of frustrates a young person who wants to go out and shine. I wish that is one thing I would want to change. Then, of course, it's inherently, it's now been something I can't run away from, is that we have a very big cancer in the service, which is corruption. This one speaks for itself. I don't need to, in law they say it's res ipsa loquita. It is something that is out there that all of us know. You don't have to say much about it. But now and again, you're caught in a place where, I don't know how I can even express this. You're part of a system that you see things, the corruption you're talking about. Like for me, I'm at a collecting side. I collect money for the government, and you look at the spending priorities, the two don't seem to resonate. So that is what is happening in public sector, that even when you see these things and these challenges that we all know, we try at our level best. You try to push, you don't give up. The spirit of changing should never die in you. Don't ever stop doing things or refrain from doing what you're supposed to do because you think you cannot create an impact. Maybe one day you look into that office and you create change. Maybe you speak to someone and you change something about the service. So for me, it is not about giving up. It's about that unending spirit of seeking change, which starts within us. Thank you so much.
You mentioned a few things about our system being rigid, and you recognize that there's a cancer within our system. You personally, have you come up with any innovative ideas of how to address some of these challenges?
Yes, quite a number. Some of the corruption is systematic and legal. If I speak of the several turning points I've had with this fellowship, I think I can speak until cows come back home, because it was a action packed and all self-contained package about leadership. Because as Laban said, some of us, if not all of us, at the time you're joining Huduma or you're joining this leadership institute, your view, your perspective of how the world looks is totally different from what you get when you're leaving the gates of Huduma. You come from the selfish perspective, as he clearly elaborated, and now you start looking at when I'm moving, and 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 I'm moving around with doing my personal work even. I'm always so much interested to understand society. My interest in society has over time grown to look at those small details about our society that my sister is telling you about. Going into that classroom, feel for that young child, that student, to think about their future. That kind of sharp eye is what actually grew with my leadership experience at Huduma. I always tell people, Karan is among those people I always tell, that you guys in this room are one of the most lucky 1% Ugandans. If I may ask any of you, if you know the name of your area, local council 1, secretary for defense, none of you knows. I doubt. Because it doesn't work for you. You're in a setting where you're privileged. If you go to Wandegia, if you go to Katanga, you not knowing your secretary for defense, it's disaster. Because they are going to arrest you in the night, and the person is going to be out of police tomorrow. If he doesn't know you, then you're going to remain in what? In the cell. That is a simple test of how our society is constructed. That people don't understand that people they get arrested at night for moving, and you, because you're privileged, you move in your car probably, you don't understand some of these small things about how society is moving. You need to understand these small injustices that are going around. But then, with this kind of fellowship and leadership institute, I managed to have a turnaround in my life. Stop wearing lenses of a privileged person in courts, to understand our society, and know that leadership starts with me. If the change that I want to create, that I desire to see, it must start with me. Because it is those small building blocks that end up doing or creating that impact that we all desire in this room. So those discussions, the different stories. I remember a letter from Birmingham. Now we have a letter from Cathedral of Milan. We missed it when I saw it on my email. I was like, it took me back to the times when we used to receive those letters, and you read it honestly, and that kind of feeling of like you read something and immediately it changes how you think about life. I'm sure everyone in this room, when you read that letter from Cathedral of Milan, immediately it re-energized your spirit about true leadership, values-based leadership. So it is my biggest turning point, and to have had an opportunity to go through the institute. Now, I want to begin by saying that the selection of Huduma fellows reflects the merit-based system that we all went through to make it here. And all the people in this room are special in a way. Because of our background, our setting, our work environment we come from, it is a point of learning at every stage. And this network, the Huduma network, is a place. I don't know how well you do it in terms of selection, but the vibe that these young people give you in terms of their strength, in terms of their aspirations, it is something that is very, very unique. I would want one time to be part of the selection process, so I can learn how you guys do it. Because this network, it gives you every other person that you need in your life. If you think about it, you're going to find that If you need, for example, help in the banking industry, you're going to have someone is just right there to help you. Time and again, I have at my work, when I am doing my work, and I need to understand, because I do audit at work, I want to have an understanding of what is taking place in the banking industry. I call on Karamaji, he's my brother, and I use him as a resource because I know he's just there. And all I need to know is that he's a Huduma fellow. And also, time and again, this network has given us opportunities to reconnect because we are different cohorts. Ideally, I would not be knowing Mwine because he was in a different cohort. But I feel comfortable calling on him because I know what he stands for, I know his capacity, and I'm able to utilize that. So you're going to find that even as I do my work, I have input from other people that I've had an opportunity to meet because of this network. So to me, it is more about the special people, the special qualities that we have in this room, how they have been put together to create that kind of synergy, the system. Someone called it the central nervous system earlier in the day, that we are now embarking on, that we are now relying on as fellows to help us in our day-to-day lives. And that is very key. But also, most importantly, I am always fascinated when I see fellows making it in the different spheres. Sometimes when you want to lay back and give up and be like things are not working as I expect, you see someone who's doing it right. And you wake up. You remember this is the person you have shared the same journey with, and they're doing it right. At work now and again, when I am maybe on my low moments, and you think that, well, things are frustrating, you see my brother here who is doing very well at work, is growing into the ranks, and you're like, okay, I think I need to wake up. There's something I'm not doing right, So it's also a point of like motivation. As you're still thinking, you meet one Christian and he says, no, I've changed, I'm no longer working here. Now I'm head of this somewhere. And we'll be like, I think I need to, to get back on my shoes, and because guys are making things happen. And it is this position that we hold in society that help us to impact society. You guys, let's not take for granted those small positions that we have. Those small positions is that's what turns into big positions. It is that officer job that will give you the ground to set yourself rolling up for the next big position. So members and my fellow participants, I would encourage us that in whatever spaces we occupy or we are in, let us always remember that small is big. Don't only wait for you to think you're going to become big for you to be able to create the impact. And that is my biggest I could call the value approach that I get out of this. We have the different cohorts, and my recommendation to you, Awel, and the team, you see how best we can connect these cohorts. There's something I have been reading about. It's called there's something I've been reading about having accountability partners, peers. Maybe we could have a synergy across the different cohorts where you can maybe pair up or create some different groups across different cohorts so that time and again we're able to further the discussions about what we are doing. Then that is my first recommendation. Then also we need to create impact in our communities. I would propose that maybe we could have projects as fellows to impact society. We do an activity that can go out and impact the society in one or the other. It could be something that needs finances where we can contribute, or it could be something that we need only to use our expertise amongst ourselves and go and impact society. In that way, we are trying to to illuminate our network into society, because again also we need to create impact in society. Those are the two recommendations I can make, but I think it is very key that we keep these conversations. I, for one, I'm happy about this reunion. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's the first of the kind, which is a good thing. Now and again, we need to keep having such conversations, because they keep on reminding us of our purpose to realign with the future. Asante sana.
Thank you.